We would like to take a moment to thank executive producer Nigeru for sponsoring this reaction. We really appreciate your sponsorship and hope you enjoy the reaction.
Welcome back to another EP sponsored reaction. This one is for Broadchurch Season 3, Episode number 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell as well. Tell a friend to keep telling all their friends that the show just keeps getting better. Along with it helps the algorithm. Thank you.
Shout out to executive producer Nigeru for sponsoring this reaction. Really appreciate it. One comment from the last episode from JoJo who says, "You guys are lucky to be able to jump right into this season. It actually aired about 3 years later, so the original audience had to wait.
Oh.
I really like the choice to stick to realism, both in the decision to have the season not be yet another murder in this supposedly sleepy town, and in its treatment of the subject matter. Although the victim services depicted are almost too ideal to be true in most places." I know that I was just like, holy shit, we don't have that here.
What?
As far as a treatment place for the
Yeah,
rape victim.
yeah.
I always thought that if I ever, heaven forbid, should need the aid of a special victims unit, I'd want Benson and Stabler. Now I know that I really want Miller and Hardy.
Yeah.
Glad this wasn't too upsetting. I didn't realize we'd be in season 3 or would have given you a trigger warning heads up. I actually really like this almost bonus season and look forward to more. Super close dates for the next one too now. We'll see if this comment makes it into the cut or if you already taped November's. Cheers. You lucked out. We didn't tape yet. We're taping right now.
Did you get it?
Alright, let's get into episode 2 right now.
How long have you been here?
Hour or two. I wanted to familiarise myself with the scene before the golden scene. I've walked the path from here to the house, and there are plenty of places her attacker could have hidden. But because of the rains last week, it's all muddy, so whoever did move it here, they'd have plenty of mud on their clothes and shoes. I'm hoping these guys get some good footprints. How many extra-officers have we got?
2 DCs.
What, that's it? We need more than that.
Sexual offences never get the same resources as murder. Chief Super told me I was lucky to get 2.
For God's sake! They know how many potential suspects we've got. How'd they expect us to move quickly with a small team like that? Did you get any sleep?
2 DCs.
Not really.
I don't know how you can ever get sleep in this job. The way my subconscious works, I'd be having nightmares nonstop.
That's why it's not for you, baby.
It is not for me, baby.
Trish Winterman did not see her attacker. It was a deliberate and brutal attack. She was hit by a blow to the back of the head. She was knocked unconscious. She was gagged. She had her hands tied with blue fishing twine. Noah's got a lead on that.
Yeah, Humphrey's Nets in town. They're the main manufacturer in the whole of the Southwest.
And then we think she was moved to an area by the waterfall where she was raped. Traces of her blood were found on stones next to the water. Her attacker gagged her and they found the material used for the gag and used a condom, all of which suggests premeditation. We've asked the Atwoods who hired the house to provide us with a full guest list, and once we have it, DC Harford will coordinate interviewing everyone who was there. We also need to talk to the caterers, any entertainment suppliers, local businesses such as minicabs who provided transport.
There's also another road in and out of the property, so it's possible the attacker wasn't a guest at the party.
Can we get more uniform for searching the ground? And
I don't think so, Petal.
Well, the lease on your building's up. We're not renewing. There's hot desking capacity for you here.
Not a chance. I need to be where the stories are, where the people are. I can't do that from here.
You know how tough print economics are, Maggie. We can't sustain a presence in Broadchurch. We're closing the offices. The paper will continue, but it'll offer content from a wider area using pooled resources.
That's not local news. People need their own lives reflected. That's the whole point.
We're redefining what we mean by local.
Oh, for God's sake. When's all this supposed to happen?
The lease runs out 4 weeks on Friday.
The Broadchurch Echo has served that town for more than a century. It matters to people.
then they should be buying it in greater numbers.
Ooh, this girl's cutthroat.
Times change, Maggie. Don't get left behind.
I mean, Maggie gonna have to, she gotta face some reality too.
No, I'm not.
You can't pay for the building, your salary, and the paperwork for all over there. And nobody buying shit.
That AB interview is Trish's main video evidence in court if the case gets that far. And if she makes a mistake or
She should
memory's
just start
hazy,
writing
it
blogs
causes
into the
massive
news.
problems.
Yeah, I mean, but she
We deleted a crucial
I'm just
piece of
saying,
information
yeah.
to
get
get
on
on
the
the
interweb.
That's not Trish's responsibility.
No, it's mine. I've got to weigh up the risk to Trish's evidence against the safety of other members of the public.
Well, can't we protect them both?
Tell me how. We've got to get to what she knows as soon as we can. Brief Beth. She's got to get Trish in a fit state.
Oh yeah, I forgot Beth's involved. She's her.
Tom's been excluded from school for a week. What for? Sharing porn on his phone. No. Yeah. That's good.
So that's good.
Oh, bloody hell, Beth. These bloody devices, you don't know what's on them. The accessing after this stuff, we never had any of that.
Best I had was Alice Wilson reading the dirty bits of Jelly Cooper out loud when we were 13. Still get a bit of a tingle when I think about it now.
I found my mum's vibrator when I was 12.
No, you didn't.
I asked her what it was for.
What did she
She said
say?
it was a whisk. Don't tell Dad.
A whisk.
It was weird for a whisk. Oh, God.
We support people who've experienced sexual violence. There's 3 strands to what we do. We run a helpline, counselling sessions, and then there's ISVAs, Independent Sexual Violence Advisors, which is me. I'm not a counsellor, but I can arrange counselling. My role is to support you through the police investigation, and if it goes to trial, I'll be there all the way. What I do is completely client-led. I don't have any agenda except to help you, okay? How are you doing so far? Are you up to a bit of paperwork?
Yeah, okay.
Great. This says that I can share information with other agencies if appropriate. Basically, if you tell me anything that gives me cause for concern for you or other people, I have a duty of care to pass that on. Do you understand? So I just need you to sign there where it says victim's name. Sorry about that. I don't know why they have that there. We don't use that word. We use the word client.
I'm gonna say victim.
Some information leaflets for you to take with you. We're going to have regular meetings, so have a think about how often you'd like. We could meet somewhere like this, or I could come to your house. If there's developments in the investigation, or if you have questions for the police, I can help you with those. Am I right in thinking you haven't given you a full interview yet? How are you feeling about doing it?
I do want to talk to them. I just don't know if I'm ready.
You do what's right for you. Don't worry about what anyone else says. Once you're ready, I could come with you to the interview if that's helpful.
Would you do that?
Of course. I'm here for whatever you need.
I feel like I'm not in my own body.
I can understand that. Your mind and your body are not going to be behaving normally. You might be going through a process of trauma. There's information in these leaflets about rape trauma syndrome which might be useful. Whatever you're feeling, whether it be sad, angry, disturbed, exhausted, depressed, it's all normal, okay?
Thank you.
You might not think it, but you're doing amazingly.
No.
You are. You got up, you got dressed, you did your hair, did your makeup, you came here, you talked to me. These are massive victories. These crimes, they make you feel like your control has been taken away, like there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
That's really good.
But there is. I'm going to find that light together, okay?
I feel so ashamed. I wish he'd just killed me.
Jesus Christ.
be ready today.
Can you hold her there? We'll come
Did
right
she
now.
call the police or did somebody call the police for her? Give her some help, you know?
No, she called the police. Remember?
Okay.
She said you called about
You know,
a.
I don't know if we should be
yeah.
pushing if Beth says she's not ready.
Beth Latimer is not in charge here.
You alright?
Murder makes sense, though. Sexual offences.
Trish, we're going to release a statement later today about the attack. It'll be very brief and non-specific. It won't mention your name or the exact location. We just wanted you to know in case you saw it mentioned anywhere.
Right, but you have to do that, do you?
Well, it's important for us to release limited information into the public domain in case it encourages any witnesses to come forward.
We'd also like you to come in at 4 p.m. today for your ABE interview.
Right. If that's what you want.
You're welcome to have Beth accompany you if it helps.
He's being very fucking direct.
We gotta get it on.
I feel bad though. Like you can't overstep.
No! You're discussing it. I made a decision.
Can we not
Yeah, we can. Because what if another woman gets raped while we're still discussing? How do you feel living with that for the rest of your career, for the rest of your life?
Look, I know it's a hard
No,
balance.
you don't actually, because it's easy being you, Miller.
Oh.
I'm the one who's responsible. I'm the one who has to decide, and that's what I've done. So I don't want to hear any more about it. We just focus on the ex-husband.
Ooh, there's so many ways to argue everybody's fucking perspective though. Like everybody's right to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, what a Kath Atwood's party.
You were there, we understand.
Yeah, good friends of Kath and Jim. We used to, me and my wife. I'm separated from my wife, Trish, but when we were together, the four of us saw a lot of each other.
And did you go to the party by yourself?
No, I was with my girlfriend, Sarah. She teaches geography.
And were you together all night?
Not all the time, no.
But you left together?
No, she left before me.
Hi! How are you yourself? Alright, good time? It was alright. Did you see my photos on Instagram? Oh, no. Did you follow me? Hi. Who's this?
This is Beth, she's a friend.
Hi. What have you done to your eyes? Mum.
Trish, I can go.
Tell her.
I don't know what's happened.
While you were away
Oh, jeez.
at Kath's party on Saturday, this man attacked me.
What?
Oh, just let me finish, love. He knocked me out. And he raped me. There was rape there. I've been raped. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Oh, you sorry. Don't say you sorry.
That's what they feel. That's what
No,
she's
no,
saying. Though.
that's-
She feels
that's- yeah.
ashamed.
Oh, the new statement was approved. Just waiting for the word from you to release.
Okay. Send it out.
This is Trish.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my god.
Wessex police say a 49-year-old woman was the victim of a serious sexual assault in the Acthampton area on a Saturday night. They're asking for anyone with any information to contact them in confidence.
Now they just make it seem so sussy. Everybody looks so sussy.
So now that we talked to everybody before it came out, y'all know what this is now. Play
You
with
know
us
why?
again.
And you know why we're
Yeah.
coming to talk to you.
Play with us again with these words when we come around.
Got the compensation check through today for having a murdered son. 11 grand it was for the family.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I must dredge it all up again.
Never went away. You've done so well. I'm glad it looks that way. Yeah, I reckon I'll try everything, mate. Yoga, boxing, meditating. That's for all that bloody counselling. God knows how long I've spent talking about it, writing diaries, drawing bloody pictures of my emotional state. none of us even touched the sides. But that's one thing I think about all the time. I can't get it off my head. And it's how we got it wrong.
Go wrong.
Joe Miller. You know, we should have just thrown him over that cliff while we had the chance, mate. But we were merciful, weren't we? We did what good people do. But if I could go back and change it 3 years, then I would. Because he's out there, and he's still living and free. You know, and after all the talking and all the counselling, this anger, it's not going anywhere. It's getting worse. We weren't wrong.
You sure you're ready for this?
This is a list of people invited to the party. Can you put together addresses and profiles? We need to take a DNA sample from everyone.
Sure, shouldn't take long.
I want it done thoroughly.
Well, I wasn't planning on doing it shitly.
What is this? What is
Noah.
this? What is this like fucking tension? What is this bullshit?
Yeah, she gonna get her a monologue. So later.
Sets my teeth on it.
Right.
Really? You've had it so well.
Why? Is that somebody she's messing with? Is that her dad? That's the guy at the trash
So this
hospital.
is the video evidence that will go forward as your
The one that
definitive statement on what
the
happened.
girl that was hosting the
Including
party.
in court if the case is
We
taken
just
up.
saw them looking over the computer together with the black guy.
Oh.
Ed Burnett's the black guy.
Oh, okay.
Can you tell us exactly what you wore that night to the party?
A kind of blue flowery dress, silver leggings, wedge shoes, bit of a blingy thing round my neck, dangly earrings.
And what underwear did you have on? Sorry, Trish, it's important we have these details.
M&S purple brown pants, they were new.
How did you get to the party?
I ordered a minicab from Budman's Taxis.
A male driver?
Lucas, yeah, he's driven me before. We'd actually been for a drink once.
Oh, he
by
does
accident. I think he thought I had to turn him down. This was the
She out here getting it.
sense.
And who did you talk to at the party?
Everyone.
Well, we'll need names, please, Trish. Anyone you can remember, including the women.
It was Kath, obviously, Jim, obviously. Ian was there. I didn't talk to Sarah. Ed Burnett. I spent most of the time with a couple of other girls from work, Sally and Tina.
And that's everyone you talked to all night?
That's who I remember, yeah.
What did you have to eat and drink?
Not much. A couple of bits of quiche and some peanuts. Drink, I was on white wine. Oh, and Tina bought me vodka tonics.
How many of each?
Wine, I don't know, 3, 4 glasses. Vodkas, 2. Wait, before I went outside, the girls had tequila shots. 2 tequila shots. Sounds a lot when you add it up, especially in an empty stomach.
Yeah. But trust me, I'm a beast out here on these drinking streets. So.
And what time did
I
you
wasn't
go
there
inside?
drunk, just so y'all know.
I'm not really sure, about 11 o'clock. I wasn't really looking. They were still serving.
And what happened when you went outside?
Ian, my husband, came out, had a go at me about the cigarette, about drinking. I told him where to go again. He went off. I finished my fag. I heard someone cough nearby. Then I think someone called my name, or they just said, hey. I'm not sure.
Which was it, Trish?
I don't know. I walked a bit down the path, And then it felt like I was punched in the back of the head, or maybe hit with something.
And did it feel like a fist or the flat of a hand or more like an object?
Not a flat hand, no, it was more like a piece of wood or something.
What do you remember next?
I hope they
I
recorded
was
that.
on my back with my hands tied under me, and I couldn't breathe properly. There was something in my mouth. And my shoes were off. My leggings had been pulled down, and a man was having sex with me.
Trish, I know this is going to be very difficult. I need you to explain exactly what you mean by that.
He had his penis inside my vagina.
No, we got that part. I was just being weird.
And he was moving back and forwards.
It's humiliating.
It was rough. He hurt me inside.
Do you know who that person was?
No, he covered my eyes. I tried to struggle, but then he banged my head into the floor. And that's the last thing I remember.
And what's the next thing that you do remember?
Walking through a field. My head was pounding. The sun was coming up. My legs were hurting. Yeah, I think that's how I got home.
Can you tell us what you did when you got home? Did you bathe? Or remember to drink? Or clean your teeth?
And again, I'm sorry to ask you this, but when was the last time you had sex with a man before this happened?
Do I have to answer that?
Well, it's quite important. It would really help us.
Why though? Can you tell him why?
It was that morning. Saturday morning.
Can you tell us who it was with?
Well, it's nothing to do with what happened.
Was it consensual?
Yes.
And was it protected sex?
No.
Oh, this is so embarrassing.
It would really help us if you could tell us.
But it's not connected.
Just to rule them out.
No.
Please, Trish.
Right, fine. It was a stranger. It was someone I met online.
Trish, are you sure about
I
that?
want to stop. I want to stop.
Not yet.
I said I want to stop.
Alright, now you already embarrassed and
I
ashamed.
told you so.
Well, we couldn't delay getting our evidence any longer.
Why does she not want to tell us who she slept with that morning? How does that make sense to her? Why did she not tell us beforehand?
Do you believe it was a stranger she met on a dating app?
No, it's probably somebody she.
If it was a stranger, even more reason why you wouldn't tell us. Because then it don't matter.
See, now I'm thinking, what else isn't Trish telling us?
Right.
Oh my God, is that all of his money clothes? Is that her
dress?
shit?
Wash the blue dress. You can't get the in outfit. You keep on washing the other one.
Yeah, his clothes were all muddy and dirty.
Why would you even keep that? Like, what you were keeping it for before the news came out? What would you keeping it for?
How are you?
Hi, Dad.
I wasn't expecting to see you tonight.
I need to talk to you about something. Just between us. Can I come in?
You can't be doing this. You can't be chatting to him about a case.
But she can. Her attitude is like that, man. Gen Z.
Oh God, why so upon her?
And Burnett.
What is it? Shut up, Pros.
Alright, that was episode 2 of a super duper investigation going on where you're going to have both sides made if anybody was to watch this. Just to argue both sides, right? Because on one hand, just from my opinion point of view on it, if I'm Miller and them, it's just like, if this traumatic thing happened to you, right? And you feel so ashamed and bad, why wouldn't you do everything in your power that you can? Damn the embarrassment.
Because we've already seen on previous seasons that if she's ashamed and she says, I've been sleeping with people, in her head they're going to be like, you deserved it.
Got it. Now, that would be rightfully so in America, but over here where we at right now, where you got all this damn support, which we ain't never even seen somebody have before, you would think you still would feel a little bit more.
Government services, that's not her friends and people that she has to live with in this town.
No, but you passed that point, right? Now that it's on the news, now that you already know that it happened and the police know, right? My point is, she's already saying she feels ashamed already, right? She already feels super embarrassed. So, adding another thing that could help find the person that did to you, telling the police, I don't believe should be too much more of a thing for you to do, right? Unless you not fully telling the whole truth after all. You know what I'm saying? And you see it played out like that with the two Miller and them, right? Now even Miller is like, yeah, all right, you might kind of be right. Why would she be trying to keep that from me on it? Whatever. Now, obviously, the show is probably going to play a little bit different onto what it is. But if you just read for the 2 episodes we just watched, and just if you was there in real life, you would be thinking the same thing. Why wouldn't she tell us this little bit of information? Like, why would it even matter to you? And especially if you dated the person online, a rando, you should more than...
That's bullshit. You know she's lying.
Exactly. Well, that's what they saying, right? You lying. But if it's a rando...
And then she got a threatening text, so obviously
now, though. You don't know
she's
that.
probably thinking about that this whole time. Like, what if he comes at me? No one's watching my house. I can't get any protection. I already asked for protection.
So yet still, why are you talking to the police? If you don't want their help to find this, why are we even going through this whole thing?
Because they're essentially telling her she got to come up here and talk to them, babe.
Okay, what I'm saying is she could just be like, look, I don't really want nobody help. I can deal with this myself. She can do that. She can say that.
She can't do that.
She can.
They wouldn't allow for it because this is a potential threat for the rest of the community.
Yeah, but she can still not cooperate.
And the only reason she's even cooperating the way that she is at this point is because she doesn't want it to happen to somebody else, but she's also scared because she doesn't want them to come after her, and she feels unprotected.
Then that makes Miller and them point even more. If you don't want it to happen to somebody else, at least cooperate with us 110% to the fullest to the investigation. If you truly do, but that's neither here nor there. All I'm saying is, if you were there in their situation, I can feel what Miller and them talking about as of 2 episodes in, right? Obviously, it's gonna take a turn later when we get down to the nitty gritty. But I'm just saying, for right now, for all the information that I have, I feel the same way Miller and them feel, right?
I think it's Alec more than Miller. Miller's definitely on Trisha's side more than Alec is.
Well, right now, after she didn't want to tell this name, they both talking to each other in the office. They kind of like, yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah, Alec's definitely more, being negative about it, but Miller's probably going to kind of come on board too, because, why would you detour this whole thing? And so shit is just going to get messy and mixed up all the way through, but I'm here for it all day, because it's going to make for a really good season. And so, it's going to be controversial, for sure, and let's do it. Let's talk about it.
Shout out to executive producer Nigel for sponsoring this reaction. We really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, there's several moments in this episode where you're like, shit, this is going to be convoluted and heavy and uncomfortable because you do see those different perspectives as the episode continued. And I was just like, this is really awkward. I also liked, obviously, the show does a really good job of misdirect as far as like making you not trust anybody on the show except Miller and Alec. So at this point, everybody's in question. And I feel like this is a very fragile type of situation. And I think the show's doing a good job as far as having such a heavy topic in the way that they're covering it. But it does open itself up for obviously controversial type conversation.
Because they're giving you, even the writers are giving both sides a way to have a position, which is great.
So I think it was a good episode. Heartbreaking and uncomfortable, and like, whew, you don't want that. You don't want anybody you love to have to experience what they're obviously going through. I also have to give a shout out to Beth, because I think Beth, as she's not a counselor, but as the person playing the role that she's playing towards Trish, I think she's doing an excellent job. And I also appreciate the conversation between Beth and Mark. Mark specifically being like, you can't just keep calling on me and not allowing me a relationship and just using me when you need it. I feel like that's a very authentic conversation to have. And I could see his point too. So the complexity of the characters that we have now 3 seasons in is just refreshing, and the fact that it's constantly adding those layers and dynamics with the characters that have already been here since the beginning too. So it's not just a fresh new story. We're seeing growth in all the characters that we've seen from the very beginning as well. And I think that speaks again a lot to the writing of this show, that it's not just one dimensional. It constantly adds on from where we started too. So woo, controversial as hell, but enjoyed it nonetheless, and really hoping we can get to the next episode here soon. So thank you again, Nigeru, for sponsoring this one.
Yep. All right, well, look, thank you guys again for watching another EP sponsor reaction for Broadchurch Season 3, Episode 2. And until next time, peace.